All right, so your kid started training jiu-jitsu, and maybe you don't train, or maybe you don't know much about martial arts. I'm going to give you 5 reasons why jiu-jitsu is awesome, and hopefully you'll understand a little bit more about it so you have something to talk to your kids about. Or when people say, oh, your kid trains BJJ, tell me about it. You can tell them some interesting facts, whether you really know a lot or not. I'm going to tell you 5 right now. All right, number 1, it's for the underdog. It was designed for the underdog. We use leverage and technique so that a smaller person can use leverage to defeat a bigger, stronger opponent. I will take the smaller person with better technique 100 times out of 100 over a slightly bigger, stronger person, or even a lot bigger and stronger person. Technique matters. Number 2, jiu-jitsu literally translates to the gentle art. It's the gentle way. So it doesn't mean that jiu-jitsu is easy, but what it does mean is we use, again, leverage and technique to subdue our opponents. Now, I love boxing. I love Muay Thai, all sorts of striking arts. But if there's a person who is maybe acting a little wiry at the family barbecue and you got to settle them down, you don't want to go up and knock Uncle Jimbo out with the right hook. If Uncle Jimbo starts getting a little frothy, you might need to take him down and hold him down. That's a completely different style. That's why we call it the gentle art. You can use it in a quite powerful way, but gentle at the same time to overpower your opponent with not strength, but with technique. Now, number 3, piggybacking off of the gentle art, the translation is that it has Japanese roots. This martial art, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, doesn't come from Brazil, doesn't even come from Portugal. It goes all the way back to Japan. When samurai would lose their weapons on the battlefield, they still needed a way to defend themselves. What does martial art mean? Martial means war, art means art. So it's the art of war. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is an art of war, traced all the way back to Japan. Number 4, and this one's actually really important because belt promotions happen typically in most schools about twice per year, but your kid doesn't always get promoted. I've been there where there's times where I go to the belt promotion just to support my teammates, even though I know I'm not going to get a promotion. I'm not even going to get a stripe. Well, that's because we progress our students along very, very slowly because we want them to learn the techniques. We want them to marinate in those. It's actually really common for it to take about 8 to 15 years for most people to get their black belt. So if you're expecting to get your black belt like your cousin did in Taekwondo in 18 months, it's not going to happen. In fact, kids can't even get a black belt. You have to be at least 18 years old, or in some schools 19 years old, to get your black belt. The highest belt a kid can get by the age of 15 is a green belt. Okay. Now, the first adult belt that they would get would be a blue belt. So don't get all wrapped up in the belts, but just know that jiu-jitsu is a very slow progression in the belt system. And number 5, I know you're going to love this one. It's the best martial art. And why do we know this? Well, because the Gracies proved this back in 1993. In UFC 1, there was a tournament. And this tournament invited all the different martial arts. They invited wrestlers and sumo wrestlers and karate guys and boxers. There was a guy with a boxing glove on and one bare knuckle so that he could try to punch in 2 different ways. And guess what? They invited the jiu-jitsu guy. There was 400-pound sumo wrestlers. There was giant muscled up, steroid-outed wrestlers. There was all sorts of martial arts. But guess who won? It was the 170-pound Brazilian guy wearing pajamas that submitted everybody using jiu-jitsu. All the martial arts were invited, and guess which one reigned supreme? Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So if you're a parent and you got your kids in jiu-jitsu, there's 5 facts so that you know a little bit more about what's going on the mats. We'll see you next time at Mission.